Hey, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of Small Town Underground. We're going to be doing a focused show today. I have a very special guest with me, a very good friend of mine named Jerry Parris. You've seen him on and off the show for the last couple of years. We've done events together. We're going to be doing the 2025 Patriot Camp out together. He's one of the main guys with me, and we're blessed to have him. And we're going to cover a story today that we've talked about off and on, but it's gotten little traction. And so we want to do a refocus episode to kind of show you what we're dealing with and how it ties into what's going on right now with land owned by foreign entities on our U.S. soil. So, Jerry, I'd like to welcome you to the show, sir. And
Thank you.
How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Good.
How about you?
I'm good. I'm super excited to be bringing this back to light and refocusing.
Me too.
On it. I know that you've reached out to a lot of people. So, and I think we want to say a prayer before we get started, correct?
Absolutely. I can say one right now.
All right, Jerry. Thank you.
Dear Father God, please help us to try to find the real truth. Our intentions here are not to slander anybody or rebuke any citizen of any country. Our intentions here are to find the truth, to try to find the truth, and try to find enough people to sign this petition so that our lawmakers in Georgia and around the country will adopt harder, stiffer laws on foreign communist entities or foreign Muslim entities buying land in the United States of America. And we want to thank God for giving us a chance to speak out, because this country, as far as we saw, is still a free country. And our prayers, again, still go out to Charlie Kirk's family and anybody involved in that. And I want to say our prayers also go out to the assassin's family, because I know this guy has destroyed his family along with Charlie Kirk's. And with that, I want to say this we pray in Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to turn the floor over to you in just a minute. So I'm just do the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to hold this piece of paper up, and we're going to show more information on this. I have it on the screen. We got a lot of information to cover, but this is a petition that you've started. Mm-hmm. And this involves Christian Zheng Sheng Association, Simard Realty, LLC, whatever you want to name it. In a situation up here in northwest Georgia where there was a huge amount of land that was purchased for a drug rehabilitation center. Mm-hmm. And hardly anybody knew this was going on as well. And so this directly affects Jerry. And I'll let you explain that. But I want you to start, because you're directly affected by this, and let's catch people up here on what is going on with this.
Well, first of all, we know what's going on in the country, not just northwest Georgia. We don't know who is actually buying this land. Thank God Arkansas and Texas are putting forth laws to stop this. Georgia, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but our feckless politicians are not on our side. This land actually borders on two sides my property off of Haywood Valley Road, and approximately 20 to 25 other people on Haywood Valley, Farmersville Road, and Little Egypt Road. And it's two parcels of land. It's 446 acres and 290 acres that were bought between 2020 and 2023. And the organization that bought it, not trying to slander them at all, we're going to show truths here. You can Google and find this stuff. It calls itself the Christian Sheng Sheng Association. They're based in Hong Kong, a Hong Kong CCP-owned company. Mm-hmm. And again, if we want to get to how it affects what I'm doing, I know that I can't retire paying the taxes, the land taxes that that Georgia wants me to pay. I only own 25 acres. There's no way that you can retire if you're paying $36,000 to $5,000 a year on a fixed income. So I had the smart idea, let's move to Alabama. Let's sell that property, move to Alabama. Well, it's been online for about 3 weeks now. The first people that came and saw it wanted it. The guy had a pre-approved VA loan. He just sold his house. They asked us, hey, can you keep this there? Can you keep this? We want to buy it. And this really opened my eyes even further. I've even done a hit on the Dade County Sentinel, and 4 people were involved in that as well. And we're going to show all this. But these people wanted the home. It wasn't that they wanted a safe home with nothing behind them, little in front of them, in the country, fortified home. And then I get home and my wife tells me, I want to bust your bubble. The realtor called our realtor and said, did you hear about your neighbors? Well, we know what that's about. I knew exactly when she said it. I said, oh no. Well, he backed out because this Hong Kong CCP company owned this land touching our land. So anyway, I guess what I'm going to say is, while our property values drop and plummet because of stupidness by our politicians and letting this go on, our taxes rise. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, not to mention it's national security issues you face
Absolutely.
when you're having foreign entities buy land, especially deemed farmland agriculture, correct?
Deemed farmland, and I have at least 35 people that live in the area that have been there will say, that's been farmland for 200 years. So, why? My question is why? Let's fix it. Let's fix it all. Let's fix the United States, but we got to start somewhere.
Right. So let's back up here a little bit to the beginning. So let's see how this even happened. So.
Oh yeah.
So do you want to kind of just fill us in on what you know about how this happened? Obviously, and before we move further, I want to explain to people that up here in Northwest Georgia, in several counties, we've all been faced with these, what they call these rehabilitation centers. And what I think it started up here for us in Chattooga County, the county got together and said, no, we don't want it. They came to my county. They were going to put this huge complex out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
It was going to be a huge rehabilitation center. It was going to have its own little shopping center. There was going to have dormitories for workers. I mean, it was a big, huge deal. They'd already purchased the land before anybody knew what was going on. And it was a big deal. They were going to put a bunch of crazy people, a bunch of drug-addled people out in the middle of the country, out in nowhere, and this complex. And so people were fought against it. It ended up being, and this is a separate story, but it ended up being that the person that was in charge of this got caught selling a bunch of fake prescriptions, laundering some money. There was a lot of things that happened. So obviously from the get-go, we're talking about some corruption going on, especially with the idea of putting these in the middle of nowhere. And as you're soon going to learn, this Christian Sheng Sheng is the exact same thing, some sort of rehabilitation company based out of China that has ties in the UK, it has ties in Japan. And as you'll soon discover, they themselves have been implicated in this vast money laundering scheme. And this is what they're doing to our rural communities, is trying to put these entities out there. So
that's a good point, man.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. And the only thing I can think, if they bought this for a drug rehabilitation center in the middle of the country, I can only think that what's going to come when the covenant's off the land and they can start building and doing stuff. You're going to have drug addicts at my back door.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
what? No.
Exactly. It's pretty crazy. I want to pull up your petition, and I'm going to go ahead and get that up on screen, and we can we're going to go through this information here.
Let me read this petition.
Sure, you go ahead.
So at the top, what it is Haywood Valley Road in Summerville, Georgia, was once peaceful farmland in the heart of North Georgia, a down-home, God-loving American farming community, until our government let Zheng Sheng Association, a Hong Kong, China-owned company buy farmland. How Little Egypt Road and Haywood Valley Road became Little China.
Right. So basically, we're going to go through some of this stuff here. As you can see, Jerry, this is a petition that Jerry started. Now, you've reached out to several people trying to shed some light on this,
Yep.
and really to no avail, right? So this shows Christian Zheng Sheng College. It shows where it's at, and Hong Kong.
Yep.
We'll cover the story that you'll see with the standard here. And then this shows the parcels of land. So how many acres is this total?
736 total.
736 articles total. Acres total.
Yeah.
Wow. So you would think that would be, that would be something that people would look at and be a little more alarmed by, right?
I would say I'm alarmed. You're
Yeah,
alarmed.
Absolutely.
But you have to wake up to be alarmed. And once you see, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through this a little bit. 700 some odd acres of land, and we'll find out first. And so when we started doing our research, as you can see, we went through the Secretary of State's office to find out what this is all about. This is what we found here. That it was the business name is Simard Enterprises, Chattooga County LLC. So it looks like that they actually made a shell company called Simard Enterprises, Chattooga County LLC. Okay. So that to me is kind of weird. Obviously, that's a business thing. If you're going to come in the county, we didn't get a chance to get the former commissioner on, but I know we've had several conversations about this, and they did not even know that all this was going on. So obviously,
let me stop you right there just for a second. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I will tell you that our sitting commissioner actually brought this up to me before anybody.
Really?
And I'm talking
Okay.
about Andy Allen told me about this.
Okay.
He did. I'm not taking that away from him.
Sure.
He did.
People knew about it. He lives in the area,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Right. So at the time, nobody really knew this was going on because, as you can see, this Simard Enterprises, and we're going to show you, has got entities all over the place.
Yeah.
And this is how they skate around. This is how they skate around the counties. They create these LLCs through the state of Georgia, and then bam, they're in there. So this is something specific for Chattooga County. Looks like the business status has been terminated, and the date formed was around 1/9/2019. And if you'll recall, those are the years when COVID was kicking off, right?
Yep.
So very easy.
Look over here while
Very
we're doing
easy.
this.
A lot of the stuff that we're seeing happen was done during the COVID pandemic.
Absolutely.
There's so many things that you can go back and see, like all of the sudden, while nobody's paying any attention, boom, COVID happens, and it's almost like overnight. So remember, everything was shutting down. Was it March of 2020? 2019 was still, everything was. Nobody was paying attention to anything that's going on. So that is how they were able to go through. And their last annual registration, of course, was they dissolved in 2023, 12/26. So this is some information that we'll touch back again, because when the land was purchased, when this dissolved, sort of thing. I don't know if I.
Well,
Yeah,
and
sure.
think about this. If you start something like this before something like the pandemic happens, and you end it after, they had no more narrative after we all said, no, we're not wearing masks, and we're not going to get the shot. We're not taking the clot shot. So that little time in between when we're like, oh, God, we're scared to death, we're not looking.
Mm-hmm. We're not looking. So now we're going to cover next this. This is the actual parcels, according to Q Public from Chattooga County, where it shows the owner of the two pieces of property that we just showed you. Both of them owned by Christian Zheng Sheng Association Ltd. So automatically, if you can see on that previous one, it was Christian Zheng Sheng Chattooga County LLC, but it's owned by Christian Zheng Sheng Association Ltd. If that's not enough for you to wrap your mind around, and then you can pull up the parcels here, and this is the Little Egypt Road. And this is the valuation. This is all public information, by the way. Mm-hmm. And we can scroll down and look. There's a lot of information on here. And where was this at? A grantor, right?
Oh, yeah. It tells you
see.
everything about it,
So
what they bought it for,
11/17,
everything.
2022 is the sale date for this. They paid almost $700,000, fair market improved. And the grantor was Simard Enterprises, Chattooga County, which we showed you was the LLC.
Yep.
And then the grantee was Sheng Sheng Association Limited. So again, it's wordplay here: a shell company after shell company after shell company. So, and then let's see, what do we have here? This was all individual to company transferred to Christopher L. Simard. For Simard, that's where they transferred it over there. And of course, 2017, unqualified vacant. So that was sold to Christopher Simard. So there's your information there, so you can see that's how all this was done. And we'll look at the second one for context.
So information that everybody would want to know.
Yes.
If you go and look at this one, this is the 446 acres.
Okay.
And I believe it was 2022, and you can find that on this. The land was valued by the Chattooga County tax assessors at over $1 million.
Okay.
These people bought it for a little over $800,000.
Right.
While my property and your property and everybody else's went through the roof. The tax assessment. So there's something weird there.
There is. There seems to be. This was 2023. You're right. And as you can see it, I think it's on the screen here. Yeah. You can see. I'm going to highlight it. 2023, $872,000 was sold by an estate, and then the grantee was Zheng Sheng Association Limited. So we have done a little bit of research on this, and nobody seemed to know what was going on. And what I'm looking for is the dissolution date of said Sheng Sheng Chattooga County, because what I was told was the realty company dissolved shortly after these purchases of the land. And we've had a tough time trying to find that information. I actually have it somewhere because we've been looking at this for a long time. But just gives you an example of how, especially when you use the word Christian in it and you're doing these shell companies and you're talking about good things. Oh, this is drug rehabilitation. But they purchased this large swath of land.
You're exactly right there. If you say Christian, and it's an organization like a drug rehabilitation center, and it's a foreigner, we as conservatives can't scream, and that's what the politicians think. Well, what am I supposed to do? It's a Christian organization, Christian by name only.
Right.
And we're fixing to show what we're talking about by that.
Yes.
By name only.
So I got a couple pulled up. So let's talk first about Simard Realty, right?
Yeah.
What we know about it, because we're going to get to Sheng Sheng here in a minute. So I'm going to pull up a bunch of the Grok searches we did, which was actually, we had to be really specific on a lot of this stuff.
To get anything.
Because I guess the longer it goes on, and we'll just kind of go back through this conversation here and point out where we started. Did Simard Realty purchase land, which I spelled Chattooga wrong, but of course it says no based on extensive searches. And is Simard Enterprise a realty company? And it says no, there's no entity named Simard Real Enterprise. So it's very specific here. So here's where we get into Simard Realty Group. It's a licensed real estate brokerage based in Granbury, Connecticut. Now this all comes back to Connecticut. Everything is tied to this Connecticut. Obviously, this is how realty works. People are buying and selling and looking all over the place for it. It's just in this particular case, this is Chinese-owned land now. That is farmland in northwest Georgia. So they specialize in residential properties in the Farmington Valley area, East Granbury. It's operated by Stephen Simard, a realtor affiliated with Real Broker CT LLC, and focuses on home sales, listings, buyer services. So as far as I can tell, they're still active here. But again, there's your affiliation with another LLC and another shell company. And, these things are all interconnected the more you go down. And then, of course, we found something interesting that we won't touch on just yet. But Immeuble Simard, a Quebec, Canada-based real estate management company, translated as Simard Properties, founded in 1950, dealing in commercial, office, and residential buildings, primarily in the Quebec City region. Canadian. So Obviously there could be some ties there with other Canadians that seem to be running parts of our government
In Georgia?
in Georgia.
Guess that name.
Exactly. So you understand like the connections here that we're kind of just painting a picture here. So real Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, led by Jason Simard, founder and personal real estate corporation, provides residential and other individuals such as Lawrence and Martin. We're not naming any of these people. This is public knowledge, but again, we're just showing that everything seems to be connected.
But it's hidden information, and you really have to look for it, and you have to be correct when you're looking for it.
Yes.
And precise.
So here, did Simard Realty Group LLC purchase any land in Chattooga County? And it says no, they did not purchase any land. And I think this is where it gets interesting here. And I think, let me make sure that we're still up. So yeah, okay. How did Christian Zheng Sheng purchase land in Chattooga County, Georgia? It says no on the searches, but you go down here. Christian Zheng Sheng primarily refers to Christian Zheng Sheng Association, ZSA, a Hong Kong-based charitable organization founded in 1985 by Chan Su-shuk. The ZSA operates rehabilitation centers, vocational training facilities, and the Christian Zheng Sheng College, okay, which focuses on drug rehabilitation and life education for youth and adults, primarily in Hong Kong locations such as Lantau Island, Mi Wo, and Twin Mung. The organization has been involved in controversies, including allegations of financial mismanagement and real estate investments through subsidiaries in Japan. Mind you, subsidiaries, what we're talking about now, but these are unrelated to U.S. properties. There is also a UK branch, Christian Zheng Sheng Associated, incorporated in 2022.
Yep.
Has no documented ties, of course, to Georgia. All right. A separate individual named Christian Zheng exists as a licensed real estate agent with Compass Greater New York LLC in Manhasset, New York. In Long Island, he has no professional, so, that could not, may not be somebody related. Property records are accessible. Let's see. So basically, I guess I was typing it in wrong here, but one thing we wanted to highlight here is Christian Zheng Sheng and related terms returned no matching parcels in our particular land, but list approximately 130 active listings and a few recent transactions totaling around 214,000, but none involve this name. So we are going through, and so I think this is where we break through. Does Christian Zheng Sheng Association own any land in Chattooga County, Georgia? Again, it says no. Hong Kong-based charitable group, ZSA. This is where I think I got it right. So, again, I just went to the Q Public and I copied the actual Christian Zheng Sheng Association Ltd. listed as a parcel owner of land in Chattooga County, Georgia. I need more information. So now it starts telling me yes.
The truth.
It says, yes, the Christian Zheng Sheng Association, also referred to as LTD or Associate LTD in records. So it's just referred to in different things constantly, right? Is listed as a co-owner of at least one parcel of land in Chattooga County, specifically Yada Yada, District 79, Parcel 26. It appears to involve a joint interest with an entity or individual with Simard, potentially linking the Simard Realty Group LLC from Connecticut, which we already pointed that out, based on prior queries. Below is a summary available for public records. All right. So the owners now of this property are Christian Zheng Sheng Association and / Simard Zheng Sheng
Association.
Joint ownership. I mean, my God, man, this is crazy. All right. So this was the tax year reference 2022. All right. With ongoing assessments of 23. Approximately $290,000 and $288,000 adjusted appealed value based on continuation appeal. These figures likely represent yada yada. Now, land use type. Very important here.
Yes, it is.
Implied as agricultural or farmland, given the context of state legislation targeting foreign ownership of such properties. No buildings or improvements are explicitly noted in available snippets. County spans rural northwest Georgia near the Alabama border. And it says no exact date or price, which we already showed you. The acquisition predates June 2024 and likely occurred around or before 2022 based on the references. So we've already showed you that. Covenant and compliance issues. In the Chattooga County Board of Tax Assessors on 2023, the board discussed it, Samard/Sheng Sheng, and approved sending a 30-day breach letter for violations of property covenants. These covenants could involve restrictions on use, development, or maintenance, common subdivided, and a follow-up discussion occurred in May 23, listing the parcel under continuation appeals likely. Okay, so basically, do you know if there was anything going on that land that created that?
I do not know. Okay, I'll tell you, I have neighbors that do a flyover, and they don't care, and I don't care. I'll tell you everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. I know right now on top of the mountain, I've had neighbors approach me about construction, pile drivers digging, putting piles in.
Really?
On top of the mountain.
Okay.
I believe it's that land, but I will tell you this. I had a prominent judge, and I won't say a name, tell me that the people that bought that land were going to put an airstrip in.
Okay.
And look, that's
right.
I'm telling you, that's hearsay.
Right. It's the community talking, and we do know there was more land for sale up there as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so let's gonna go. It's draw local attention amid Georgia's 2024 legislative efforts to restrict farmland purchases by foreign adversaries, including agents of China, as defined under federal law. Okay, and we're going to cover this. Dade County Sentinel highlighted the parcel example why Senate Bill 59, which was signed into law May 1, 2024, is too little, too late. The bill prohibits non-U.S. citizens or permanent residents affiliated with China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba from acquiring agricultural land or property near military bases, but does not apply retroactively.
Yep.
So this land was purchased.
Before the bill.
Oh, and I didn't pull that up, and I'm going to pull it up. This land was purchased pre the existing bill that Governor Kemp signed, which was not retroactive. So this land has been purchased by this Chinese Zheng Sheng rehabilitation, blah, yada, yada. And there seems to be nothing anybody can do about it. So let me pull this back up.
And another thing that people that don't know the area, and this is information that we found out on the camp out on my property with Jacob, and you and me, we were all talking. There are caves, monster caves down there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on that land.
So
right?
we don't know.
We don't know anything.
No, we don't know anything.
Okay, gotcha. Let me pull this back up here. Giving you all the context we can give you. So, residents in Chattooga County expressed opposition to the purchase, viewing the association a Hong Kong-based Christian charitable organization focused on drug rehabilitation as a Chinese group, quote-unquote, with potential national security implications. Though no evidence, of course, was reported, the association's U.S. ties appear limited with its primarily operation in Hong Kong. So, again, before I go any further, so why on earth would we be allowing a Chinese-based, out of Hong Kong, rehabilitation clinics to be put in rural areas of our state? Why
Any state.
Right, and the more that you get into this, the more you realize that what is this even all about? If it's going to be a drug rehabilitation center, and nobody knows anything about this, is this just a cover for something? Is this just another shell title that they were going to do something else? I mean, wouldn't you think the state would have at least a little knowledge of putting a rehabilitation center in the middle of nowhere?
Wouldn't you think that the good people of Chattooga County, when I went to the courthouse and went to the sheriff's office and went to the Chattooga County Sentinel, none of them knew. Wow, we don't know. We don't know.
I know for the fact that the commissioner didn't know what exactly was going on, and they were all blindsided. And even the clerks, it just looked like regular information that was just coming in, as if like nothing big was going on.
Well, after that hit, I've got to give it to Joe Holcomb, Charles Stoker, and John Agnew, because they all called in after I called in and set the interview up on this at Dade County Sentinel.
Right.
And we did this hit on there. Sorry, I'm beating everything up. Nothing was still done. I called Marjorie Taylor Greene's office and left messages. I finally got a hold of them this time, after it was call. Oh, intern. So last Thursday, maybe been 2 weeks now, I was told they were going to send me a follow-up email.
Okay.
I don't have a follow-up email.
So you've been reaching out to anybody that will listen about this.
Yeah.
And so far, nobody has gotten back to you about it.
Come on, Marge. I'm calling you out. Let's do something.
All right. So let's go a little bit further here. So let's see. You can visit any of these records. They're all public, and I put, based on this information, what realty company made the transaction for this land. And it says, based on this information, where Christian Zheng Sheng Association Limited is listed as a co-owner alongside Simard Zheng Sheng. The realty company that made it, the transaction appears to be Simard Realty Group, LLC. So you can see every bit of this is connected in some fashion or another. Meeting minutes in the April 2023 and May 1st, the Board of Tax Assessors discussions, which suggests Simard Realty Group, LLC, a Connecticut-based real estate brokerage led by Stephen Simard, acted as the intermediary partner acquiring entity in the deal. So basically, this realty group went to the landowner. They did their own thing. Nobody was the wiser. They turned in the paperwork. Everything looks good. It's a small county. And bam, it's just done.
Well, what the unbelievable part in this whole thing is, and this is probably, I don't know what's happening in Mississippi, Alabama, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening in California.
Right.
You can bet your bottom dollar this is happening in every single state.
Right.
And maybe not with this company,
mm-hmm.
but it's happening, and somebody's screaming, and it may be one or two like us,
right.
or 10 or 12, but we want people to sign this petition, because I will get it in an email, and mm-hmm. I will get it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll get it to President Trump.
Right.
I do know people that play golf with him. I don't know the man.
Right.
You know?
And let me go a little bit further here. We're going to get into the other side of this too. This entity, okay, I put it, that bought this particular land still in business. Did they close? Because there's an article about how shortly after this land was bought, the LLC just went out of business. Shortly after, like on December the 26th. I don't have it pulled up on screen, but we can find that. But according to this, it says the Simard Realty Group, LLC, which is not the same as the Samir whatever. Was not the exact same name as the realty, right? So the whatever shell that they used to purchase this land is no longer in operation, but the actual real estate brokerage is linked to a joint ownership, is still in business as of September 15th and is not closed down. And it says this entity operates as a licensed brokerage under the umbrella of Real Broker CT LLC. So I mean, they operate. I mean, under, it's like Small Town Underground operating under Jerry Parris LLC. It is like one shell company after another.
Yeah, you could have Roy's Burgers and Roy's Bonding and Roy's billiards, and but if you that's legal.
Exactly, it's legal, and this is why that they use all these shell companies to do the business, so that you can't. It makes it almost impossible to track all these things down, and they can create something out of thin air just to take care to launder money, to make land acquisitions, so that they keep secret the ties of who all is involved in this, right? So this is just a very small kind of deep dive into information that we already knew, and we had already been researching this, and we've got tons of the documentation here. But we just wanted to give you guys an overview of that situation. So this land, a large amount of property in the middle of nowhere, but tied to a very small community, has been purchased with the intentions on paper to bring in a Chinese rehabilitation company to help out with drug abuse and God knows what else, as if we needed the Chinese here to help us with...
The Chinese are making fentanyl for us. We really need those people to do that.
We know that the Chinese are the ones that are producing fentanyl and bringing and smuggling them in through many nations in America, yet they're going to set up drug rehabilitation centers in the middle of nowhere Nobody knows about it. The government doesn't know about
No.
it. The Secretary of State, I don't know. Our own
The governor?
our legislators don't know it. They don't want to talk about it. And then, wouldn't you know it, the bill that would block this from happening? Well, it's too little, too late.
Came
folks.
out like 6 months after the.
Magically 6 months after all this, after nobody knows anything, and the public said, no, we're not going to let this lay. So now we're going to go to this Dade County Sentinel. Actually, let's go to the first one here. So more recent developments that you need to see, and this is your Sheng Sheng people. Now, this came out in January of 2024, so this has been ongoing for a while, folks.
Yes, it has.
Nobody's touched this. So this is from I think this is a Hong Kong paper.
It is. Why can you trust Hong Kong Free Press? It's Hong Kong Free Press.
So, according to the Hong Kong Free Press, police arrest 4 directors of drug rehab charity for suspected fraud, issue warrant for school principal. Police said the Christian Zheng Sheng Association raised $45 million in a fundraising drive in 2020, but that the drug rehabilitation boarding school it runs got less than 10% of the sum.
Wow, it sounds like our government.
So obviously they were running a fundraising scam, a little Ponzi scheme here. So they've arrested 4 directors involving tens of millions of dollars and are seeking 3 others now based overseas, including the principal of the boarding school the charity runs. Police told reporters on Thursday the investigation involved the NGO Christian Zheng Sheng Association and its rehabilitation school, Christian Zheng Sheng College. The Lantau Island School, which does not receive government subsidies, is a private institution, relies on donations. So that's massive. And it's not even a government run. It's privately owned, and then they're buying land here in America.
But they don't even own their own land.
Right.
So it's Hong Kong CCP owned no matter what you say. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it says active Superintendent Abraham Yu said that between October and December 2020, whom he did identify, ran a fundraising campaign. They claimed that the donations to the school had reached a record low that year and urged people to donate. They found that of the $45 million campaign, the school received less than 10%. Meanwhile, there were over 300 transactions from the association's bank accounts involving transfers to the NGO's directors and principals. So, right here, look at this, folks. This is what you need to see. In 2022 and 2023, there were 13 overseas transactions from the association's bank accounts totaling more than $50 million. So, all right, let's stop there. All right. How do you think that this property was bought?
With that money.
With stolen Ponzi scheme money.
Yep.
Now, wouldn't that cause an alarm for some of our state officials to get involved in this and look a little bit deeper?
It should.
To find out that Christian Zheng Sheng has been found to be guilty of laundering over $45 million, only to find out there all their 13 transactions. We don't know exactly what these transactions, but allegedly this particular land could have been bought with stolen money.
Yeah, and we're not, there's rumors going around that this Christian Zheng Sheng Association is going around locally and throughout the United States trying to steal money from churches. We don't know that. We just know what they did in Hong Kong.
All we're reporting on is what we know. So this is here's another one. The principal is recognized in Hong Kong for his work with marginalized youth. Hasn't been okay. Hang on, that's nothing there. What? Chan, who was not named during the police media for briefing, is now based in the UK, according to his Facebook page. So, so I got one for that.
Dude's moved.
Yeah. So I told you at the beginning they had here in America, they were set up in Japan, they were set up in the UK, of course, out of Hong Kong. So let's go to this next story here. All right. Let me make sure I got this pulled up. 2 more Zheng Sheng Association directors arrested over unfair trade practice. All right. This is from, this is actually 1107. So the previous story was January. Now we're into November of 2024. Customs arrested 2 more directors of the Christian Zheng Sheng Association in relation to a complaint that the rehabilitation institution refused to refund students' book fees and accommodation deposits.
Wow, go figure.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about all kinds of corruption here. And right here, in addition, they claim the customer's accommodation deposit will be refunded after his children completed the course. It was only after the institution had ceased to provide the training course the customers told the deposit would not be refunded. Christian Sheng Sheng College has ceased all operations since Sunday, July 7th. Okay? And let's see here. They're still investigating people that could be associated with that. So rife with corruption. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Rife with corruption. There, as far as I know, if they've ceased all operations, even in the UK, I told you based on the Grok results that there were some issues in the UK branch, Japan branch. So everything has been nothing but a huge money laundering scheme here. So let's now cover the Dade County Sentinel. Okay, that was the one. And this is what I wanted to pull up here. Let's see if I can get this one to pull up. This is where I saw the UK.
Christian Sheng Sheng Association condemned by Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
Hong Kong,
your own people.
Strongly condemn the vile actions of the Christian Sheng Sheng Association Board of Directors, which on top of harboring wrongdoers has failed to fulfill its role and duty. So this was June 18th, so this is right here in the middle. So every bit of this is a lie, what's going on here with these rehabilitation centers. So that was the UK. And let me see if I've gotten everything that we needed to talk to about here. And one more.
You know, as if it weren't enough, we let the Democrats let hundreds of thousands of military-age Chinese in the border with backpacks, and they don't have their sandwiches in the backpacks, people. So, and now, and even before that, we had this. So, is that who is over here now?
Right.
We don't know.
We don't know. Absolutely. And I've got one more article that I want to bring up because I think we've covered all the bases here. And like I said, all this stuff we're just pulling, this is all public record. We've got some stuff that we've worked on, but again, we're not here to name names. We're here to bring this to people's attention. We're not the only people dealing with it. This was from June 6th. Bill to protect Georgia farmland from national adversaries met with opposition. On April 30th, Governor Brian Kemp signed Senate Bill 420, which is intended to protect Georgia's farmland and military bases from nations deemed to be enemies of the United States. This bill will go into effect July 1st. Has received criticism from several sides. Of course, some people perceive it to be racist and discriminatory. Some people say it's a step in the right direction. Ineffective and too little, too late. So, according to the state's office of the governor, this bill prohibits the ownership or acquisition of agricultural land or non-residential land within a radius of a military. You can keep reading.
25 miles.
25 miles. But it also protects our farmland. So you can look up this article as well. But the bottom line is that, and I'm not going to lay the total blame on our Governor Kemp. Y'all know I'm very, very critical of Governor Kemp. But again, why wasn't a bill like this in place a lot sooner? And because we are not the only state that is dealing with this. But again, too little, too late. So it seems like this Christian Zheng Sheng land is just sitting there in an alternate universe right now. Nobody will seem to touch it. The company, it's been proven that they were laundering money. The Ponzi scheme, fundraising schemes. There's a very good chance that, not that we can prove it, but it could be alleged that this land was one of the 13 transactions that were bought with stolen money.
Yep.
And yet it sits there as agricultural farmland, and nobody seems to can do anything about it.
See, we hear people griping all the time that foreigners, Chinese, are buying farmland. Mm-hmm. Okay, now is the time we can do something about it.
I agree.
We can. But again, let's go back, people. Let's see. There's many, many lines on this petition. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to urge Roy. He's got an email that I sent to him. I'm going to be passing this thing around. Yeah. Any county can sign this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that it's from District 14 and Marjorie Taylor Greene can do something. Every single congressperson in Georgia and every senator in Georgia can get on with us, and let's do something about this.
Right. Not to mention, in Chattooga County specifically, there was an ordinance that was passed, what's called a subdivision ordinance,
Yep.
because there's been several attempts in rural areas where schemers have come and tried to buy large swaths of land and either turn them into subdivision tracts or private memberships, including this Christian Zheng Sheng.
Or a drug rehabilitation
drug
center.
rehabilitations. And folks, a lot of us, they think we're just a bunch of dumb hicks out here in the sticks, and they can just throw this crap out in the rural communities. While we're looking at one particular thing that is owned by a foreign entity, we had our own state government trying to put these same kind of rehabilitation centers all over the place that the people were standing up to and saying no. So obviously, we've got some issues. We have to constantly be watching out at everything that they're throwing at, especially involving data centers and things coming up. But again, the land's been purchased. The company is now defunct. As far as the LLCs go, we've showed you that they're defunct. Like,
Yep.
What? I don't know what. Do you have any information on the land? So you told us at the beginning they couldn't build anything on that.
They've got a covenant on the land. I think it was for 4 years.
Okay.
Now, they bought that in 2023.
Okay.
So they've got several years. Now, 3 years are gone.
Right.
They can't build. I believe it was 4. They've got 1 more year, and they could build anything they want to on that. The covenant's gone. It's done.
I see.
We've got a covenant on our land for 10 years. It's still on 8. That's why we were able to hold our taxes down lower.
Okay.
Their covenant's gone. If they re-up it, they can't build anything.
I got you.
But I doubt they will.
Okay.
We don't know.
Do you know if anything is actively going on that land?
As far as I know, there are buildings on that land that they're living in. Other than that, they're not supposed to be able to do anything on that land.
But there is somebody on the land.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I've got a neighbor that has saw Joe Holcomb, his mother-in-law and mother, I think it's his mother, buses coming in with loads of Chinese. You know, the 15-person vans, but with filled with Chinese, in and out, in and out, in and out. Because something is going on. We don't know what.
Gotcha. Because it's a pretty big swath of land, and there's no way to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah, the only way to see it is drone or a flyover with somebody in their Cessna. That's pretty much it.
Right. Are you have any support from the local your local legislators? Anybody else that's interested in looking into this? And
Not so far. I mean, again, an intern from Marjorie Taylor Greene's office. When I finally talked to him, he said he was gonna. This isn't right. We're gonna look into this. Okay. No, I'm taking them at face value, but I'm not gonna hold my breath because how long have I called them for? 2 years.
Gotcha. And you're a landowner. This directly affects you there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I want to urge anybody out there that might have some more information, or maybe we have some lawyers out there. Maybe we have law enforcement. Anybody, legislators in the state that could contact me or Jerry Parris just to look into this further. It seems rather alarming to me that absolutely nobody knows what's going on with this case. And it's even further alarming that the company that originally purchased the land has been pretty much been shut down due to the amount of corruption. It would seem to me that if you were able to prove this land was bought with stolen money, there could be something done about that, right? So,
well, I would think that Homeland Security could at least check this out.
Sure.
This is a foreign adversary.
ICE could check it out.
ICE could check it. Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. All right, Jerry. Well, again, folks, I have the petition, and we'll be sharing this petition soon. I've got it in paper form. I have it in digital form. So if anybody wants to partake in this petition, where can they go, Jerry? Where's your petition at? Have you posted it on like a?
I have not. I may post it on my wife's Facebook. That would be Norma Parris.
But is it a real online petition or?
No. I haven't made an online petition. I wrote it up. My intent was to email it to people that could,
right,
word of mouth, get it out.
Right. Okay. So do you plan on making an online petition?
I want to.
Okay.
I've got to look into that. Yes.
Okay, I think that would be a good idea. Like I said, And you need to keep your eyes open in your own area. Like I said, this is a huge swath of land with more land available up there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're ever increasingly keeping an eye on this because, again, we have foreign entities all over that they shouldn't be allowed to buy our farmland in the first place, but we don't know the true intentions. As of what we're seeing here, there's no rehabilitation.
Well, they're just going to hide it.
Exactly.
If it happens.
Again, you can see all the shell companies and everything. So, all right. Well, Jerry, I'm going to give you the last word on this before we wrap it up. But what do you want to tell folks out there?
I want to tell them, check it out.
Yeah.
But sign the petition because no American patriot should let a foreign communist country own land in their state or in the United States of America. And that's basically it. Stand up. I mean, stand up and do something. If you put your head, this is how we got in the situation that we're in this country. In this country, you demonize conservatives. This is how Charlie Kirk died. He was demonized. We've been demonized, but it's a Christian organization. You're putting them down. We're not putting them down. We showed you the Ponzi scheme, the corruption that's in this company. Now 6 people are arrested for fraud, $50 million. 13 transactions have been made worldwide. This could be part of it. Probably is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Stand up. Mm-hmm. Stand up and do something. Let's just say this. In the brink of what happened last week, this is what I believe. This is what Charlie Kirk would want you to do is stand up and at least sign the petition so we can get it to. You don't have to scream. Sign the petition, date it, put your district down there, and I can assure you, I will get it to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, it seems like this could be a good capital trip. I mean, we need to start alerting more and more of our legislators in the area.
Absolutely,
and, our representatives, and I think what we can do is put some sort of a package together to send them and get them on board with this, and at least get people understood that we're watching this. There's a lot here to unpack. And something's not right.
Yeah, so. We have local stuff we have to do. We have to cater to the homeless. We have to try to watch our politicians. And we all work for somebody, everybody we're talking to, unless you're at home and you're having to, you live off the government, which is good if you're retired. If you're living off the government and you're not retired, get your ass out and get a job. But anyway, sorry, I just have to go there, man. The point being, be a good American and be a good Christian. And again, we're not condemning the people that are there.
Oh no,
it's the company.
No, it's the company purchasing the land that has implications here.
And Samard.
Yeah.
And our politicians for letting this go on.
Exactly.
The intern that I talked to at Marjorie Taylor Greene's office said, "Oh, well, yeah, we need to research this. What can we do?" I said, "Do you make the laws?"
Well, again, it's crazy to think about that we're even talking about this. We've been talking about this. We see other states that are proactively taking measures, but it seems like in Georgia, it's always, we'll go ahead and pass this now a year after, and I'm not trying to bring up election integrity because now they want to do a pilot program for paper ballots way after everything's already been done, and everybody's been screaming forever. And now, it's very hard to take it seriously. And I'm not even, again, I have no reason to implicate Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp signed a bill into law in 2024 to stop this very thing. Yet here we are in limbo with this. How many more other pieces of land or counties are affected in the exact same way that we're affected?
Yeah.
Land that's sitting there owned by people, foreign entities, that their companies have been shut down because they were stealing money.
I want to urge everybody that has a little bit of aptitude that can get on the computer to research in their state, in their district, in their county, in their state, U.S.-wide. I will guarantee you will find hundreds, if not thousands of these.
Yeah, it's not a conspiracy.
No.
And I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate that we are directly affected by this, but again. All right, folks. Well, that's it. I think we've covered everything. We give you enough detail to run with. I can assure you, this is something that's been going on for a while. We don't have any answers on it.
Nope.
We're desperately trying to seek some. So, again, if you can be of help, you can reach out to me at Small Town Underground. I can get up with Jerry and others in the community, and we'll be hopefully looking for this petition to come online soon, where we can get more people involved in it. And,
Absolutely. Thank you, Roy.
thank you, Jerry. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for stopping by.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.